My first year selling with Amazon Online Arbitrage, I did over $1 million in revenue, and in this video, we're going to be talking about 10 common beginner mistakes to avoid when you're starting and growing your Amazon Online Arbitrage business the first year. The first mistake I see a ton of beginners make that I think doesn't get talked about enough online because it's very intangible is not adopting a long-term mindset. When you get started selling on Amazon or with any business, it's going to be incredibly hard to find success very quick because naturally when you're starting out, you're competing against tons of different beginners as well, and you're only finding the top 99% of opportunities. You're not finding the best opportunities basically. So if you come into this with the mindset that I need to make money quick, or I'm worried about how little time it'll take and stuff like that, you're probably not going to succeed. But if you understand that it's all a part of the process and that's going to take a while to get good, it's going to take 3 months, it's going to take 6 months to start seeing significant success. But once you get to that point, it's way easier to grow than it is to start. And that getting from 0 to 1 is the hardest part. You guys are going to learn the most when you do your first 20 hours of YouTube binging on my channel and all the other Amazon creators on here basically. And then once you get to that point, you're going to know a lot of the basics. You're going to know all the stuff that you only need to learn once. How to create a shipment, how to send products to Amazon, how to find products, how to analyze products. And then all you're going to have to focus on is the highest leverage stuff, which is typically product research, and that's really where you're going to make your money. So it's important to adopt a long-term mindset and understand that this is a process, that you're going to suck at the start, because of course you're going to suck. It'd be unreasonable for you not to suck, and if you didn't right away, then it wouldn't be a lucrative opportunity in the first place. The second really common beginner mistake I see is planning to start or waiting for the perfect time. I'm here to tell you, I promise you, there will never be a perfect time to get started. The perfect time was probably like 5 to 10 years ago or so, and the second best time is definitely to get started today. I see especially a lot of you college kids complaining about not having time. I promise you, from someone who's been there, when you're in college is when you'll have by far the most disposable free time. So especially you young people watching this, get going with it, because the downside is that you potentially lose a little bit of your time. Your time isn't worth anything right now. And the upside is that you get between 35 to 50 years of additional freedom not having to clock in basically on that. So there's very capped downside that you might lose a little bit of money and a little bit of time, but you'll learn stuff in the process. You'll check another thing off in terms of stuff that you don't want to do. So from someone firsthand who spent a lot of 2020 trying a bunch of different business models and eventually got going with Amazon basically and had success quick, like I was saying, I did $1 million in revenue my first year, over 6 figures in profit, 50K profit in a single month. Basically was really able to get success going within the first 10 months or so. Right there, there's never going to be a perfect time. You just have to get going and take massive action, because if you get started when you are busy, over time you're going to become so much more efficient in what you're doing during that time, that the effort you put in, you're going to get a much higher dollar amount for that time. And that's another good point just in general, that as you're doing this stuff, your time's going to become much more valuable and much more effective. Over time, you can start to get like virtual assistants involved helping you out. You're going to start talking to other sellers, and that gets me into my third point, which is a big mistake sellers make, which is not networking basically. The way I think about it is basically like running a business is like a giant test with school, right? And if you were allowed to cheat on the test in school, you probably would have done it, right? You probably would have used teamwork and worked with other people. And in the test of business, you're allowed to work with other people. You're allowed to leverage teamwork. You're allowed to work with other people to solve these different problems. And still, so many of you guys don't do it because I don't really know. Right there. The beautiful thing is that there's tons of people online that want to meet ambitious people like you and I, and there's basically no one that's actually putting themselves out there. I'm one of them, and look where we are right now. We're building a parasocial relationship. I probably don't know who you are, but you know who I am because I've put myself out there, basically. So those who network are at a massive advantage. A few months ago, I was speaking at the Miami Sellers Conference, and basically every speaker was making pretty good money, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, some even beyond that in profit, and all of them mentioned the value of community, getting to know other sellers and stuff like that. So if you're not talking to other sellers and actively trying to meet other sellers, you're basically subjecting yourself to more work, less money, and less fun. Because the beauty is that in this kind of stuff, you get to choose your coworkers basically. You get to choose who you talk to on a daily basis outside of the occasional call with Amazon seller support. So why not find people you like, right? And I know that takes getting out there, that takes talking to other people, that takes potentially talking to some people that you might not end up vibing with initially to vet them, but that's why it's so important to be networking with other people, because it makes it a lot less work, a lot more fun, and a lot more profitable basically. And still, a lot of you guys don't do it, so that's a big mistake I see a lot of beginners make. Another one is overthinking the little things. This hits home especially with the Instagram DMs some of you guys send me, and that's obviously fine. I'm there to answer questions and such, but like, do you really think what printer you use is important? Do you really think the labels that you buy that are slightly different than the other ones are important, or the tape? Not at all. Focus on the big things, right? You can use any tape and it'll be fine. You can use any box as long as they fit the requirements, which you can easily find on Google, which are fine. As someone who answers tons of Googleable questions, if you can just build the skill of Googling and watching YouTube videos and stuff, which luckily you guys are working on right now, it's gonna take you so far. Like, what tape gonna use, what box you use, what printer you have, none of that stuff really matters. Like, do you guys think that someone who found success quick is worrying about that? No, they're focused on the big things. They're focused on getting the right products and stuff like that. Worrying about what printer you use is completely a form of procrastination. You need to get to work. That's how you're gonna make progress. Along with stopping overthinking the little things, what you also want to be doing as a beginner is not putting all your eggs in one basket. I see a lot of sellers, they might start with like $1,000 or $2,000 and they'll put all of it into just a couple products. That's absolutely not the way to do it, because of course you're going to make mistakes when you're new. What I would rather you do is nicely diversify. I carry and sell throughout the year hundreds of different products basically, and a lot of people get in online arbitrage thinking you're only going to have a couple. No, you're going to have dozens and eventually hundreds right there. The beauty in that is that diversifies your risk a lot. You know, when you're new, especially if you want to merchant fill stuff, which is what I do, you get 2 of this, 1 of this, 3 of this, 5 of this, and over time you eventually start increasing those purchase quantities once you're confident and a lot smarter than you are when you're new. So definitely don't put all your eggs in one basket. Nicely diversify. Do what you can your first couple months to get to 20 listings available, 30 listings available. Even if you only have 1, 2, 3, 5 of each of these products, it's still going to help you learn a lot quicker, and then it's going to increase the service area of the opportunity you've gone after, and it's going to help you build the muscle of reading Keepa and SellerAmp data. Another mistake I see a ton of beginners make is trying to outsource too quickly. Now, whether that be getting a prep center right from the beginning, which I don't think is a bad idea. It is a bad idea if you don't have a lot of capital though. If you have a bunch of capital, 1, keep doing whatever you did to get all that capital, and 2, feel free to get a prep center right from the get-go. And additionally, people hiring virtual assistants too early. You need to get really good at product research before you go ahead and hire a virtual assistant, because how else are you going to train them? Right? A virtual assistant's not going to solve all your problems. They're going to become an extension of you and your brain. So if your brain isn't good at product research yet, that's fine. It takes time to get good. Spend some more time talking to other sellers, consuming content, putting in work in the trenches right there, and then you'll be ready to go ahead and outsource. Virtual assistants don't solve your problems. They help you move towards wherever you're going. So if you're in a negative trend, you're not making rapid progress, a virtual assistant is not going to go ahead and reverse you. You're going to be the one that reverses you. You are the problem, but you are also the solution. Another mistake I see a lot of beginners make is worrying about step 100 when they haven't even done step 1. I'm sure some of you guys watching can relate. You're worried about, oh, how am I going to scale? What warehouse am I going to get? When you haven't even made a sale yet. How does that make any sense? The only way you get going is you just put one step in front of another and move it from there. When you get to college, you're not worried about writing your senior thesis, right? When you just are trying out for the team, you're not worried about how to win the championship or how to run the last play in the most important game. No, just one step in front of another, one sale after another, and over time, you're gonna aggregate knowledge, skill, confidence, capital, relationships, and all that's gonna combine to help you build a really nice business over time, basically. So forget worrying about what's scalable when you're working for 12 bucks an hour, because nothing's scalable for you right now, because you're not the type of person that's ready to take advantage of those opportunities. But you need to build it over time by putting one foot in front of another, and over time you get some pretty good stuff right there. Another one is focusing on saturated opportunities, and that I think I worded that a little bit incorrect, but it's more so just stop worrying about looking for products where everyone else is. Stop focusing on the biggest websites when you don't already know about all the coupons or have all the coupon extensions downloaded. Like I tweeted about this the other day, but in March I bought from 27 different websites, and 24 of those required a coupon or a product to be on sale or clearance or something like that. Basically nothing was profitable at full retail. Only 3 out of the 27 websites I bought stuff profitable at full retail, basically. So What that means is you start to have to really digging in and finding opportunities when products are discounted. Luckily, when you're watching this, Mother's Day is coming up, some other holidays, 4th of July, the next few months, there's going to be a lot of good sale opportunities, but a lot of good money lies in coupons as well. So you need to be looking for coupons on different websites, which luckily you can find on Google typically, or just like at the bottom of their site, the website.com/coupons. Try all that basically. Because the nice thing about coupons is they tend to be a little bit more evergreen. Like for example, on Dick's Sporting Goods, if you guys go to that website, you can scroll down to the bottom and you'll see there's a 10% coupon. I was worried about that sticking around 2 years ago and it's still here. So there's a lot of good opportunity with that. Just don't think stuff's going to be profitable for retail, because even if it is profitable for retail, how many other people are finding that? It's going to be a lot harder to find than the really hard to find coupons you're using that luckily end up benefiting you for the long term. Another mistake I see a lot of beginners make is not treating it like a real business from the get-go. Now, I don't mean like putting in a ton of time and you know, calling yourself CEO on LinkedIn or whatever. I just mean taking it seriously, right? This is something that has the power to change your life, but it only has the power to change your life if you take it really seriously. It's like gets back to the like you guys being scared to use social media because what your high school friends will think if you talk about the stuff, being afraid to network because you're afraid of not having anything to provide to other sellers, when if you just documented and showed what was working, people would enjoy, you know, the entertainment and the storytelling that you put out, because clearly based on how quick I've grown in popularity, there's a demand for this kind of stuff, right? So you want to take full accountability from the get-go, and I bring on the accountability in the social media side of things a lot, because a lot of you guys are afraid to post on social media because you're afraid of taking accountability for getting going with the stuff, because what if it fails? Well, what if it fails? You try something else, or you keep going with it till it works. Your other option is 30 to 50 hours of clock, 30 to 50 years more of clocking into stuff, most likely doing what you don't want to be doing if you're watching my channel. So you have no other option but to make it work, and the way you're going to make it work is avoiding the stuff I talk about in this video, taking massive action, taking full accountability of it, that this is what I do, this is my life, I'm going to make it work, and the more assertive and the better you talk about yourself, the better results you're going to get, basically. And the last one I would say, and it sounds kind of grim to talk about, but thinking your friends will believe in you, right? When you start doing this stuff, I will promise you people in your life are going to think it doesn't work or you're wasting your time or anything like that. But let's be honest, when you go on the path that they want you to, does anyone ever question it? Of course not, right? And do a lot of people end up living the life they don't want to live? Yes. So understand that I was actually lucky in that a lot of people did believe in me, basically, but I had tendencies with doing internet business for like a decade prior, basically. But your friends aren't going to believe in this Amazon stuff, so don't talk to them about it. They don't care. They don't need to know. Talk on social media about it. Talk to other people that are doing it. Join the free Discord. Talk to people in the comments. Talk to people on Twitter. Those are the people that think like you, and those are the people that are going to help you get where you want to be. The people that got you to where you are probably aren't going to help you get you to where you want to be unless they're on the same mission as you. And that's the beautiful thing with this stuff. There's lots of ambitious people online that are on the same mission as you, that want to bond and work together with you. And the bonus, the last one, is definitely not documenting and talking about it on social media enough, right? Like, there's tons of you guys who ask me questions, you say like, oh, Amazon sellers gatekeep, whatever, and none of you guys have ever posted on social media for 90 days in a row. You've never taken the 5 minutes to shoot a quick video, this is what I did today, whatever. You're deathly afraid of what your high school friends will think if they ever found an Amazon social media page. Look, I got teased a lot for doing the Flips for Miles page back in 2019. It's a little bit cringy. You can scroll back there on Instagram, and now all the people that used to tease me for that have to put on a suit and tie and go clock in for 8 hours a day while I get to enjoy some of the beautiful freedom that a good online business can provide. And I don't mean that to like shit on those people or whatever, but like at the end of the day, like I knew that that was the right way to do things because I had seen people ahead of me do it, right? I knew that that was going to attract the people that I wanted to meet into my life, basically, with that. So that's the bonus one, is that is there any way you would make less money? Is there any way you would meet less Amazon sellers if you posted once a day on social media today for 90 days? Of course not. It's inevitably going to get you closer to your goals. So, my friends, I want you to avoid those beginner mistakes. You'll find success quicker. You guys got any questions? Let me know in the comments. And if not, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot.